ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुतिरये। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा. Our humble pranams to all the assembled Vaishnavas. Today is the auspicious disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada. Avirbhav and Tirobhav, days of great acharyas, are worth worshipping. It is explained in Puranas that यस्य देवे पराभक्तिर यथा देवे तथा गुरु तस्यै कथितहि अर्थ प्रकाशन्ते महात्मनः. A devotee who worships both Hari and Guru, the deep hidden meanings of Vedas will manifest within his heart. So Acharya Upasana is something very, very important in Vaishnava Dharma. If we are just a religious person, then it may not play a very big role. But if we are a spiritualist, we are interested in improving our spiritual life, then Acharya Upasana is very important. And an Acharya like Prabhupada is very rare because he is Acharya Ratna, a special celebrated jewel among the Acharyas. They carry the mission of Krishna. So recently our devotees, they have found out a beautiful verse from Bhagavata Mahatmya. So there is a shloka in Bhagavata Mahatmyam which is also spoken by Shukdev Goswami. You may have gone through Bhagavata Mahatmyam where Bhakti Devi, Vrinda, she has two sons. Knowledge and Gyan and Vairagya. And in Kali Yuga, both of them, are very tired, weak, and Bhakti Devi is trying to protect them. So in that there is a shloka where the mother is telling the two sons, I am going to leave Vrindavan, then I will roam around the globe planting the seed of bhakti. There is a beautiful shloka by Bhakti Devi saying to her sons, in Kali Yuga I am going to leave Vrindavan and travel around the globe and planting the seed. And who made that into practical thing? Only Prabhupada, nobody else. Bhaktivinoda Thakur started this by sending his books to Germany. That's why we call Prabhupada Bhaktivinoda Thakur the pioneer. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had this idea of sending his books to the libraries in Europe. So first books went, then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati sent his best men, two of his best men to UK to preach. They came, but they could not do much. Then, as Bhakti Devi predicted, Prabhupada went around the globe 11 years, 66 Prabhupada landed in US, 77 Prabhupada left his body. 11 years from the age of 70 to 81. How many of you genuinely feel that you go, you take a travel, come back and feel like, let me rest for next couple of days? I am sure we all have that same feeling. Go on a small travel, few hours, then we will feel, let me rest for 2 more days. No more travel this week, 14 times Prabhupada went around the globe in the last 11 years, and I am sure it is not a pleasure trip at this age. Now itself we go to Vrindavan, we go to Mayapur, spend 10 days and come back and sleep in the home for next 10 days. We don't do anything else. So just a short list of what and all Prabhupada did. So this prediction is there in Bhagavata Mahatmya where Vrinda Devi talking to her sons that I am going to travel around the globe and plant the seed, and which Prabhupada made true. I just mentioned it so that we will understand how in line with Parampara and with the deities, Prabhupada was empowered, chosen and sent. Like Lord Chaitanya said, my Senapati Bhakta will do this. Mahaprabhu said this word, my Senapati Bhakta. It is not easy to convert a person into Krishna consciousness, that too from completely a different. Imagine an African man becoming a devotee from a Zulu tribe where they don't have scriptures, where they don't have, what do you call that? They don't have that alphabets, they don't have a language of their own. They have only verbally talking language, like in Karnataka they have this Tulu, Konkani and all. It is like birds' language. They keep talking, but they don't have a script. They steal a script they depend on another language for the script. There are 1,300 tribes in Africa with no script, and their languages only God can understand. There will be a tiny community of 200 houses and they have their own language. Next village has got 100 houses and they have their own language. Zulu, one language is called Izulu, I don't know what it is. And one is Tsilb. We don't even know how to pronounce it. And those now ISKCON devotees went there, created a script, translated and published that book in that script. Imagine, translating and publishing is a different thing. Inventing a script for a language, only devas can do. Humans can't do this job. Prabhupada is empowered to do this. And it's a big credit goes to His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. Now, in the tribal schools in Africa, they use these books and for study, because they don't have any other book. They have only Krishna conscious. The kids are very lucky. They have only Krishna conscious books to read. These things are humanly impossible. Humanly impossible. Just in material terms, you see, Prabhupada built more than, generally they say 108 temples. But actually Prabhupada built 130 temples. And it's a record. 32 temples were inaugurated in 1 year. 32 temples. You can't even build 32 rooms in 1 year. 32 temples. People who have built their own house, bought a property in India, bought bricks by brick and built, they will know what it is building a house in India. You should be a number one smart cheater, traitor, diplomat, everything to build a house in India. Otherwise, they will remove your dhoti and go. Very difficult. More than 130 temples plus 32 temples in a year. It is a record actually. And to name certain things, when Prabhupada was there in the planet, they distributed 3 billion free food. 3 billion plates of free food. They distributed, and nobody will know this. Prabhupada released 20 devotional album, more than Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson 17 or 18 something, I don't know. Prabhupada released 20 devotional albums, and one album called Radha Krishna Temple was number one in the chart for continuous 6 years. ISKCON competed with normal people. Can you imagine? Suddenly you release an album and that overtakes A.R. Rahman or international pop singer, whoever may be now. Can you imagine these things in the wildest dreams? 20 devotional album, and one album was the top in the chart for continuous 7 days. And that album had made millions of followers. Just by that album called Radha Krishna Temple, so many people became devotees initially. Like we are trying to see Prabhupada's records in material terms, in normal. This is what material people appreciate. In those terms. Even in countries like Czechoslovakia and Russia and other countries, this record was number one. They don't even know English. And they were using this. And I said the temples list. Then Prabhupada conducted Rath Yatra in 32 international cities like New York, Los Angeles. It is not like we are conducting Rath Yatra in Belgaum, Hubli, Dharwad and all like that. It's all small towns. And that too, Rath Yatra was pulled in 1972 in Manhattan. Manhattan is considered to be the world's topmost, richest place. So many things Prabhupada instituted, ashrams. Okay, for the kind information of Vrajapran Prabhu. Prabhupada started the world's first vegetarian restaurant chain. The first restaurant chain Prabhupada started. Spreading in 13 countries. That's the first vegetarian restaurant. Govinda's, and it is a registered trademark. Prabhupada started this. And if you see in the business terms, Prabhupada started Spiritual Sky Agarbatti, Agarbatti. In those days, it produced $46 million. Can you imagine? I don't know what and all Prabhupada has done with, wrote 6,000 letters. In the screen, we have Akshara and Varsha. How many letters have you written in your life? Maybe few leave letters to the principal, the school. Prabhupada wrote 6,000 letters, and each letter is not like, how are you? There is rain in your house? My pet dog is, not those kind of letters. Each one is like bomb carrying. Each letter has transformed and inspired his disciples to carry out the mission in different countries, different continents, not just letters. And Prabhupada gave 3,000 interviews to the priests, politicians, diplomats, dignitaries, celebrities, sports stars, religious heads. 3,000 interviews, and he published Back to Godhead magazine, which were distributed 1 lakh copy every month. 1 lakh copies every month. The list goes on. I think the whole class will be discussing this only. And Prabhupada started a scientific research institute called Bhaktivedanta Institute, attracting the science. I will tell you, you can go and check in Google. There is this famous research center called Baba Atomic Research Center in Mumbai. Very famous. And it is considered to be the most intelligent people go and join there, Baba Atomic Research Center. Please go to Wikipedia and see the maximum number of suicide committed by scientists is from Baba Atomic Research Center. Every scientist who works there for 20 years finally ends up committing suicide. You go and check. They will be hanging from the fan. They study so much. Thank God I didn't study too much. Most of them committed suicide. And Prabhupada sent his disciples to Baba Atomic Research Center. Prabhupada predicted, and Prabhupada said a wonderful thing. Without this, that famous coining of ISKCON word that Godhead is light, darkness is nescience. After coming to ISKCON only, I'm seeing that the word for the first time in life, nescience and all sorts of things. Because English language is not enough, developed enough to explain who is Supreme God. Prabhupada in the first volume of Srimad Bhagavatam, he writes, Krishna is the supreme fountainhead of gods. You don't know what it is. Supreme fountainhead of gods. Because there is no English term for Bhagwan. Right? There is no English term for Agyan. So Prabhupada coined this word and made a pamphlet. Godhead is light, darkness is ignorance is nescience. And he made a beautiful scientific pamphlet. And that has become the introduction for the book Krishna Consciousness, The Missing Link. And that devotees went there. And in America, they had this funny thing. Not funny thing, it's actually a good thing only. Every youngster is supposed to work in army for 5 years. You have to be in army. Luckily in India, we don't have that rule. Every American at a particular age, at a particular period, initially they have to work. So all the youngsters were in ISKCON joining, and these people were coming and picking up. And one devotee didn't want to join and serve this army. 5 years, it's compulsory. You have to serve in the army. Even Obama, they were all in army for 5 years. So he didn't want to leave the service of Krishna and mankind. And so he wrote an 120 pages explanation why he is not willing to join the army. And he presented it. Prabhupada read that and said, publish it as a book and distribute. And that book is called The Handbook for Krishna Consciousness. It is a devotee who has written, and Prabhupada became very happy. Then another devotee was taken to the court, and the court said, you have 15 minutes to explain why you are not joining the army. Everybody is supposed to join the army. Then he went and stood in front of Prabhupada and said, what should I say? Prabhupada said, just say what we are doing. Whatever I am speaking in Bhagavatam class in the morning, you just speak. So this devotee went there. He is sitting in that witness. In India, they will make you stand. America is developed. They will give you a chair to sit in that witness box. So this man was sitting in the witness box. And you know what this devotee did? He took the kartal, started with Jayarada Madhava and gave 40 minutes Bhagavatam class. Literally in the court, he took the kartal and started singing Jayarada and gave 40 minutes Bhagavatam class. The judge didn't understand head or tail of anything, and all this were looking at him. Nobody understood anything. He was talking Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a transcendent 3 modes of material nature, and they were all looking at their face. But you know what the jury, the verdict they gave? So beautiful. He said, the judge said, this man is deeply convinced in what he is practicing. He is not tricking, he is not lying. He is fully convinced, so I am granting him. The judge didn't understand any of those things. And he came and said, he gave a whole Bhagavatam class in this thing. Amazing things devotees have done, which we can't even think how they did all those things. Amazing, amazing things. And all those things turned into books and so many things. And Satswarup Maharaj was going to colleges and preaching. Then he was telling how to wear tilak, how to do this, how to do that. He was teaching the students. And he made notes and he was distributing to the students. And Prabhupada said, so beautiful, print it as beginner's guide. So initially it was called a pocket guide to Krishna consciousness. It was there for some time. Then it turned into beginner's guide, a bigger book. So many things. So Prabhupada started preaching in this field of science. And the paintings of ISKCON, it is a miracle. Now, because we have seen these paintings again and again and again, some kind of saturation, we are not able to appreciate it. But when artists, when they see these paintings, and when you see that initial days of your Krishna consciousness, the ISKCON paintings were lively. After Prabhupada passed away, even the same artist could not draw that painting again. Prabhupada passed away in 1977. After that, no artist had drawn similar paintings. Now ISKCON publishes paintings. But when you see this painting, you can easily make out there is a big difference between those paintings published and commissioned by Prabhupada and the paintings which are printed today. There is a big difference. Somebody asked Prabhupada, how was that? And Prabhupada secretly said, Gandharvas, they come, they draw and they leave. If you see that original paintings, after that even the same devotees who draw that, Nagaraj Prabhu, Muralidhar Prabhu, Shyam Sundar, the same artist could not repeat. They couldn't repeat. Now you see it is a painting. Beautiful artwork. That's what you say. But in those days when you saw that original painting, you feel like Krishna. So lively. The feelings, the bhava, the smile, the tears at the tip of his eyes. Amazing paintings. Even now, so many people. One devotee said in Hema Malini's house, the movie actor, she has that in her hall, some 7 feet that Yashoda Krishna painting there. So many non-devotees, they keep this even today. Those paintings are amazing. Then Prabhupada's books. When Prabhupada was there, he left his body in 1977. By the time, Prabhupada's books were translated in 40 languages and 55 million copies were distributed by the time when Prabhupada left his body. 40 languages. Now it is translated in 93 languages around the world. And we stand next to Bible and Quran. We are third because we don't give like what Bible they distribute. Bible and Quran, they simply distribute. ISKCON is not doing like that. But still, we stand third in this world. The largest Vedic publishers in the world is BBT, Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. Prabhupada had his own printing presses. And they were getting thousands and thousands. Books were distributed in Germany, in Russia, in Finland. And they will come and report, this is what happened. A devotee, he read the book, he became a devotee. A devotee got this book from garbage bin. The book devotee got it from there, here. And he read one page. One man was with the, with the noose, with a rope, and he's about to commit suicide, ready to hang. Somebody knocked his door. He went and saw 2 brahmacharis standing there with the book. He couldn't avoid them. He was trying to avoid them, but these guys are not leaving. ISKCON devotees, never interact with them. If you interact, your life is finished. They'll make you devotees. And these 2 boys were so adamant. So just to get rid, this man took this book. And he climbed again on that small tiny table and trying to put his nose. Unfortunately, he slipped from the table and fell down. And Bhagavad Gita opened. And it said, soul can never be killed. Only body change, something like that. Then he found it interesting. He read, he became a devotee. Another man drank some poison, raised his window, sitting inside the car, going to commit suicide. Some devotee came and knocked his door and gave the book, and he read and became devotee. And the most interesting thing is what Rohini Sutta Prabhu said. Very, very amazing pastime, how a person became devotee. They are drunkards and they have all these wild parties in the weekend in the jungle. And these people have decided we are traveling 200 kilometers in the deadly deep jungle and we are going to have our party. So one person is supposed to bring alcohol drinks, another person is to bring food, another person is to bring ganja, marijuana, all that, whatever it is, and all this. And this person is supposed to bring the firewood, lighter and everything. That's his role. So all planned. And they were moving in different cars, and this man piled up all the firewood and everything, lighter, waiter and all. Then he saw Rohini Sutta Prabhu, some Prabhu there, very senior devotee with the book. And this man is a number one drunkard, but he got attracted to the paintings in Krishna book. So this man didn't have money, and he's not giving the book back also to the seller, holding on the book tight and going through the paintings again and again and again. And that Prabhu is telling, if you don't have money, let me take it back. But this man was not giving the book. Then he said, give me money. And he said, I don't have money. Okay, give me something which is useful or something, Then this man, he had only that lighter thing. So he gave that lighter as a donation to Krishna book and went to jungle. This is their 2 days camp in some wild winter, some jungle. In the weekend, all the friends had assembled and this man has to bring the lighter, otherwise they will freeze to death in the jungle. And he went there without a lighter. You imagine what the friends will do to him? They all scolded. He said, I gave the lighter and brought this book. They literally kicked him off from the jungle and sent him. He felt very bad. He came and read the whole book cover to cover. Then another day, this Prabhuji was going to a temple. One bright looking devotee came running and said, Prabhuji, do you recognize me? And that senior devotee said, no. You remember some 2 years back, I bought a book from you and I gave a lighter to you, and said, yes. That man became a devotee, full-time devotee in temple. And that Prabhu said, what I did with the lighter, I thought anyway somebody has given something. So I have to use this in the service of Krishna so that that devotee will get credit. Thinking like this devotee took that lighter and gave it to the Pujari. So Pujari was using that lighter for a couple of weeks, lighting the lamp and things like that. In that way, that lighter went into direct seva of Krishna. That man became a devotee. It is all mysterious connections. Don't think we just became devotees. Somebody prayed for us. Somebody gave mercy. Somebody was following us up and down. And we have become devotees. So Prabhupada's achievements, even materially, it goes on and on and on and on. So, as I said in Bhagavata Mahatmya, Bhakti Devi is talking like this, right? And in this thing, there's a beautiful quotation. This is spoken by Lord Chaitanya. Yadi papi chadi dharma dure desha yaya mora senapati bhakta yaibe tathaya. When the sinners go and take birth in countries all over the world, my Senapati Bhakta will march to bring them back. Lord Chaitanya spoke this. When sinners take birth all over the world, my Senapati Bhakta, and Srila Prabhupada, he marched throughout the world and brought people from everywhere. And this word, that's a famous quotation. Prithvite ache yatha nagaradigram sarvatta prachar hoibe moranam. Lord Chaitanya said. He was in Srivas Thakur's house. He was distributing mangoes. Srivas Thakur's house Lord Chaitanya one day became so happy. After 72 hours non-stop kirtan, Lord Chaitanya became very happy. And Lord Chaitanya personally with his hands, he was distributing mangoes. These small devotees were hankering for this small interaction with Lord Chaitanya. Somebody got a neem leaf from Lord Chaitanya. He became so happy that he got a neem leaf from Lord Chaitanya. Once Lord Chaitanya was brushing with a neem twig and gave it to another devotee. He took that and kept it in his puja and were worshipping. Small interaction. They were so happy. And that particular day in Srivas Thakur's house, he was distributing mangoes, and the mangoes were nectarian. Some of them even ate of the seed also. So nectarian it was. And that is the time Lord Chaitanya said, one day my names will be chanted in every town and village around the globe. That is true. 600 temples, 3,000 prayer centers, and 30,000 house programs all over the world, bringing millions of people together. In Iran, they have not seen Krishna. People have not even seen Krishna's image also, because the country is internet banned and all. They know this word Krishna, but they don't even know the outline how Krishna will look alike. There are hundreds of people chanting 16 rounds in the bunkers underground. They don't even know who Krishna is. They come to Mayapur. They can't come directly. They go to Europe. From Europe they go to China. From China they go to Nepal, and they come to Mayapur. Because if the government traces, they have gone to India directly. And if they somehow find out they are for a pilgrimage, they are finished. They are just killed. There are devotees in Iran. As Brajpran Prabhu said, there are temples in Pakistan. There are 14 ISKCON temples in Pakistan. They have Rath Yatras. The only country in the whole world where ISKCON is not there is North Korea. That is the only country. Hope it will happen very soon. All over the world. Unless this is a universal truth, how people will change accepting this? This is the second thing that has happened in history after Christianity. Christianity was the first religion where it spread out of love and conviction. Other religions all they spread it through fear and things like that. So it is predicted in many scriptures, and in 1885, almost 160-70 years back, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote in Sajjana Toshani, very soon, the unparalleled path of Harinam will be reverberating all over the world. I could see the fortunate day when English, French, Russian, German and American people holding up banners, mridangas and kartalas, raising through and their arms and chanting through the streets of Navadvip, embracing devotees from Bengal. It's true. It is true. In 1885, will anyone imagine that this is going to happen? Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote this. Devotees, and this is true. On the last day of Navadvip Mandal Parikrama, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 devotees from India, from all over the world, with the flags and with the holy name, with their arms raised, they run through that paddy field in front of Yogapit, Lord Chaitanya's birthplace, and they come and embrace. Imagine how happy the acharyas would be watching this. Can these things happen by a common man? So many things. And very beautiful, very beautiful. One day, one devotee asked Prabhupada, if Lord Chaitanya wanted, He could have easily spread Krishna consciousness throughout the world. Why Lord Chaitanya did not do that? Prabhupada became very silent. And this devotee asked this question again. Prabhupada smiled and said, he gave that credit to me. Lord Chaitanya gave that credit to me. Indirectly, Prabhupada said, Lord Chaitanya wanted me to do that. And I did that. But he did not say that, Then, it is an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. Prabhupada was going in a bus. And a bus conductor, his name was Reuben. He doesn't have any connection with India or Indian culture, nothing. And Prabhupada was taking a long bus ride in a winter, in a cold winter, sitting in that Greyhound American aluminum looking buses. So, Prabhupada is an Indian gentleman. This bus conductor became little curious and he went and started a conversation with Prabhupada and said, who are you? Where are you from? What are you? And Prabhupada said, I am doing this and I am trying. And that is the time Prabhupada was like facing disappointments again, and whatever he tries, there's a big failure. He couldn't get a place, he couldn't get people, and that drug addicts were throwing Prabhupada out of the room. They broke Prabhupada's harmonium, they threw his books, all kinds of disappointment. I am sure, 100% sure, if we were in that position, none of us will continue Krishna consciousness. We will simply drop it. Maybe we will say, I will sit and chant alone. Then this conductor, Prabhupada had a long chat with him. Then the conductor really felt sympathy for Prabhupada. And this elderly gentleman is struggling in America. He doesn't know the language, he doesn't know the culture, he doesn't know people, he doesn't know. And all alone this man is struggling. So the conductor said, Swamiji, you better go back to India. Why are you struggling here? He felt a genuine sympathy. Please go back to India. Why are you struggling alone here? And Prabhupada said, I am seeing temples, I am seeing books, I am seeing thousands and thousands of devotees chanting God's name. Just time is separating me. Prabhupada spoke that world famous quote to a bus conductor, nobody knows who he is. And when Prabhupada's centennial was celebrated, this man saw this pamphlet from some corner. He became inspired. He wanted to come and convey this message that this Swamiji had told me this. He came. We are fortunate to be in this parampara. Really. So what amazing things has happened. And to Tamal Krishna Maharaj in his room, Prabhupada once said, an astrologer saw my palm, my horoscope, and the astrologer said, after the age of 70, you will bring the whole world under one umbrella. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj was like, really, Prabhupada, did that astrologer said so? And Prabhupada said, I knew this for sure that this is going to happen. But time was separating me. And now it has happened. I thank you, European and American boys and girls, for helping me. Prabhupada, with folded hands, with tears in his eyes, Prabhupada said, you are all sent by Krishna to assist me. I thank you. And Prabhupada was very genuine and honest in that conversation. Prabhupada was not speaking for some kind of, from decoration or just to appreciate. No. He did that many times. Many times Prabhupada did that. Whenever a Western devotee achieves something and comes, Prabhupada very honestly, with a folded hands, he said, I am blessed to, once Prabhupada said this, I am blessed to be your spiritual master. Prabhupada said that. What a level of humility Prabhupada had. So there are so many quotations, so many things. Another time, a pujari from Radhakund temple, from near Radhakund. That temple was earlier pujari in Radha Damodar temple. So once he came and said, I know Abhay Babu for long. I know Abhay Babu. Many times we will close Radha Damodar temple and we go to sleep. But I have never seen Prabhupada sleeping. If I wake up at 1 o'clock, I could hear chanting, Prabhupada chanting from his room. If I wake up at 3 o'clock, I can hear Prabhupada was chanting 64 rounds in Vrindavan before he set his foot in America. Don't think this just happened. Shakti of the Lord empowered on Prabhupada. She was doing this. Honestly speaking, spiritual life is only for those kind of deep people. It's Prabhupada's mercy, the knowledge has spread out. And we are aware that we can also march through that path. And one day this Pujari said, I woke up at 2 o'clock in the midnight for going to bathroom or something. Then I heard somebody was sobbing and crying. Then he knew it is Prabhupada. So he went and saw Prabhupada's room is empty. Prabhupada is not there. So he was little surprised. So he went around Damodar temple and checking. I don't know if you have been to Radha Damodar temple, you know. Now backside and all, they have built so many things and all. Earlier it was not like that. Then he went behind and in front of Rupa Goswami Samadhi, Prabhupada holding a tiny broom, 1 foot cut tiny broom, and sweeping Jiva Goswami Samadhi again and again and again and again, and crying, Rupa Goswami Samadhi, again and again and crying, Rup Sanatan, give me mercy. He was crying, begging for mercy, give me mercy, give me mercy. I want to serve my Guru, I want to make his words come to give. He was crying like a baby. And this Pujari did not want to disturb him at that time or don't want to interfere at that time. So he simply saw from a distance and he came back. Prabhupada was crying. How will I bring my Guru's words true? My Guru has told me, if you ever get money, print books and preach to the English-speaking world. And Prabhupada was literally crying every day, begging mercy. And simply by the parampara and Prabhupada's mercy, this has happened. Many devotees have told this, they have seen. Because what Prabhupada was before starting ISKCON was completely different. He was a very serious person. After starting ISKCON, Prabhupada was a very jovial person, light-hearted person. Before, he was a serious person, chanting 64 rounds, sleeping 2 hours a day, and working continuously. And that has come true. So, this year, 2021, is the 125th birth centennial of Srila Prabhupada, birth advent. In 1996, it was 100th, and we don't know how many will live by 150. Sure, Rajaparan Prabhu and many devotees from Oman will be there. Another 25 years for sure. But we don't know how many will be there. So this is a great year, this 2021. 125th advent of Srila Prabhupada. So we should also prove that I am a worthy follower of Prabhupada. At least make ourselves and our immediate family members wonderful devotees of Krishna. You have children, make a vow. I will really spend time and bring them properly and make sure my children, they cross 18, 16, 18, they are initiated members. We preach to the whole world. Sometimes our children don't chant or they chant half round, 1 round. Make sure that by 16, 17, 18, they also get initiated. Otherwise, what kind of parent we are? Our children don't go back to Godhead, then it's useless. So make a vow that I will make a pure plan. It doesn't mean if they become devotees, their materialistic career is over or something like that. They're wonderful, this thing. This year, for your kind information in India, this year I forgot that JCSC, something like that. It's a judiciary course to become a magistrate. JCSC, JSC, something like that. It is a course to become a magistrate. And the first mark in India, gold medal winner, is a Hare Krishna devotee, chanting 16 rounds and things like that. You know, many people think that devotee means, means material career is over, nothing like that. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur was extra smart in it. He was a magistrate, he was a judicial, panchayat head, he was a counselor, he was a writer, author, singer, what not. Had a family with 14 children also. And handled everything just like that. And was a Thakur, 7th Goswami. So let us make some deep commitments this year, 2021. 125th year of Prabhupada. So our immediate family, children should become initiated devotees, parents, brothers, sisters. We make them. That's all. If every devotee thinks like that, the whole world becomes Krishna consciousness. Some commitment. This is very, very important. So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, then maybe a little bit from our regular what we are supposed to do. So, this is how it is. Acharyas and all our acharyas, the parampara, they all had a very special. Prabhupada's Guru Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he also had this. He had a master plan to convert the whole country into Krishna consciousness very systematically. He selected his main 8 disciples and he brought 108 senior devotees under the main 8 sannyas disciples. Then he made 64 matas all over India. What a wonderful, majestic plan. And Prabhupada many times he said, I simply executed my Guru's plan, that is all. Prabhupada said, I didn't plan anything separate. My Guru was expert in all that. And I simply executed it, that's all. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had, temples, 64 mata in different places. And many places had a leela where the deity is inviting Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to make a mata. One is in Alarnath. Alarnath in Jagannath Puri, very beautiful deity, very beautiful deity. After seeing Alarnath, they draw an ISKCON painting. I don't know if you have seen an ISKCON book called Endless Love. There is a book called Endless Love by Ravindra Swarupa Prabhu. The cover picture, there is one painting where a slim, dark, black Krishna is standing and Radharani is offering flowers at Krishna's feet. There is one painting in ISKCON like that. Only Radha Krishna. Radharani is offering flowers at Krishna's feet and a very slim Krishna is standing. Pure black. After seeing Alarnath deities, the devotee drew that painting. And Prabhupada liked that painting very much. Prabhupada said, this is very close to Krishna. Very close to Krishna. That means Prabhupada had seen Krishna. That's why he could say that it's very close to Krishna. And one devotee, a very intelligent question he once asked to Srila Prabhupada, he asked, you say that pure devotees see Krishna face to face. But Lord Chaitanya is written in Sikshashtakam that he had not seen Krishna in viraha, in separation he is suffering. So how to understand this? Then Prabhupada gave a fantastic answer. Prabhupada said, Lord Chaitanya is speaking a lie, he said. Then the devotee was shocked. Mahaprabhu speaking a lie? Of course. If Mahaprabhu had not seen Krishna, how he will feel separation? Can you feel separation from something which you have not seen, not heard, not thought about? Definitely Mahaprabhu had seen Krishna, that's why he is feeling separation. And Prabhupada made these comments, some strange comment and all Prabhupada has made. Once he said, Lord Shiva is not so chaste towards his disciples like Lord Krishna. He made this comment. Secret, devotees who are hearing this, don't tell this to anyone. It's a secret. Then devotees ask, how? Because Lord Shiva just didn't help Ravana. He didn't help Hamsa. He didn't help Narakasura. He didn't help Banasura. When Krishna came to kill them, Lord Shiva kept quiet. But if it is Krishna's devotee, definitely Lord would have come and protected. At a lighter moment, don't use this in preaching. Don't get beaten up from people. This is just on the lighter side. So Prabhupada has made amazing comments and all, and only a person in that level can make these kind of comments. Normal people can't do this. So when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati went there, Alarnath deity, the temple was in a dilapidated condition, broken, no maintenance. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur felt very bad. Then immediately he called Gram Panchayat leaders, this, that, and all, had a meeting and said, I am here in Puri for 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, this temple should be renovated. It is not possible even today. Imagine, some 150 years back. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur literally stayed there. Hundreds and hundreds of employees were deployed in reconstructing Alarnath temple. And the temple was over. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur went to pay his pranams for darshan. And Pujari came with the Utsava Murti of Alarnath and gave it in Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's hand. And Bhaktisiddhanta, what? Then the Pujari said, yesterday Alarnath came in my dream and said, he wants to come with you. And the Pujari gave. That is why if you go to Alarnath temple, in Alarnath temple there is no Utsav Vigraha. Only Stapak Vigraha. But in all temples you have the small one and the big deities also. Alarnath only big deities. There is no small deities. Because the small deities walked away with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So this parampara has a whole backup from Krishna, Narada, Madhvacharya. It's a whole backup like that. Parampara, from ending up with Prabhupada and his primary disciples and sannyas gurus and Guru Maharaj and others. We are simply connected. To put it in a simple line, we are all directly connected to Krishna through this parampara. Are we really qualified for these blessings? Actually, no. It's amazing mercy that this has happened. So this is a very important year. So make some vows, make some plans, and raise your Krishna conscious standards. Make your dependence into devotees. Okay. Thank you very much for the wonderful opportunity. Hare Krishna.